Let's talk, man. Let's talk. This chapter was sick. I like this chapter a lot. This was truly moving me tremendously. I'm kind of blocking you, Yuri, but it is what it is, dog. It is what it is. Say hi to YouTube. This will be on YouTube later. Let's discuss this chapter of Tower of God, Tiara season, hotel lobby, Zamzam versus whatever you want to call him. Tiara and Yuri's going crazy. New abilities that I like. I like. You know how long I've been tired of Tower of Beams? Just beams, beams, beams. Nah, I know it's Yuri still flicked a beam, but she condensed it. So I'm gonna give her credit. High density. So, oh my god, the corruption, the doping, turning yourself into rock or concrete, the mini drones, dragonflies with the missiles. Come on, the power of words. This is exactly what this story's been missing, in my opinion. More abilities like this, and seeing how different abilities stack up and match up, which can make a stronger combatant have more trouble against someone they're physically more dominant than them because their ability is tricky to deal with. The story has been truly missing this for quite some time, man. There has to be a limit to what stops her. That stops her from writing something crazy like I can control Cobalt. Yeah, I'm sure there's some stipulations that doesn't work like that. You never know. It could just be that like the things that she mentioned that have to be around, like the subject and the location or whatever, and reality of it, whatever. Yeah, makes sense. If she's an animal user, maybe she can't control Cobalt. I'm sure there's some type of limitations. But my point is, regardless of that, if she has to physically write the words, no matter how fast she writes them, you have to stop her from writing that in the book. That's how you win. That's your ticket. So to me, it's not completely broken. Just solely off that fact. Bam is her limit. Imagine the Imagine Breaker. Shout out to Tacoma to Hamijo Toma. Tiara, that kid on the playground that keeps giving himself new powers. Facts. Actually, I have a 3-pronged barrier that can only be broken by meteors from outer space. I'm just gonna assume she's limited to like 1 power per passage she writes. Maybe. I think her writing powers are a front fake. Oh, you think she's using the book to cap? I would still like that if she was doing that. Like she was trying to make it seem like she had to do that. I would still like that. That's a good strategy. I mess with that. But I don't know though. There should be some limit tower residents. Probably not. Regular to Gustang. She's her own OC. That's crazy. Season 3 continues to give us more dope ass abilities and techniques, man. Agreed. Wonder what her weakness is. I think Cosmic Scans use the term realism, so take that for what you will. Okay, thank you. Realism. All right. I'm gonna check to see if they actually are up right now. Might as well just check. See if Cosmic Scan is up. Site still on the site maintenance. Can't do think about it. And before the book works as a spell instead of Shinsu, so Bam negates it. I wouldn't be too surprised by that. Limiting what she can do, what she write, whatever is actually feasible. Only a few chapters since the hiatus, and we've already gotten 2 new characters that are now in my top 5, Zamzam and Tiara. I like Zamzam. He's not top 5 though, but has been truly intriguing to see. Like it's the fact that no matter what he's doing, and the fact that he's following orders from Trauma Ray and whatnot, as far as I can tell, he's always sees himself as a hotel manager. So he's talking about, you open the windows, bugs don't even fly in. The extermination's gonna be on you. Like, I'm gonna make sure that my hotel patrons get the best sleep possible. I love all that. That's fantastic. It's moving me in ways that I didn't know was possible. So shout out to Zamzam or Jam Jam, depending on what translation you prefer. Make Yuri a little bigger. And Mate, man, the him being a defensive specialist, us seeing someone who specializes in defensive tactics. We know he's part Hoth family, so he's probably physically strong and athletic, and he has a durable body as well. But on top of the fact that he can, I guess, did anyone remember if Cosmic Scans called it concrete too? Did it call it stone or rock, or was it also concrete? Just in case you guys know. But man, this was good, bro. This was good. Zamzam is like Cobalt, that he knows he's got a job and does it without any sort of nonsense attached. Agreed. He knows his role, and he's a star in his role. Your job is to rebound. You may not score many points. You get 10 points, but you grab me 20 rebounds. You're doing what you need to do, and I'm not mad at you. Tiara's weakness is the grass Shinsu quality because you don't go outside. That's crazy. Cosmic called it concrete. Concrete? Okay, thank you. So I guess that's consistent. We'll see what Line does in 100,000 million weeks. But all right, let's kind of go through it. Let's kind of go through it in order. So we start with Hajin Sung and Cha speaking about the situation they're in. I kind of bring up the fact that I think it's weird they still can't sense it at all. Because like Sea Snake's supposed to be decently strong. I somewhat recall Bam saying he's somewhat sensed Ren, but his killing intent and the fact that he was being loud and he's speaking out loud, so that could be a mixture of the two things. But there's that. But we learned that there's a Lopobia high-ranking mole or collaborator, if you will, that's kind of giving them information they need to get out. From what I can tell, it seems like it's the vice captain of the mothership. I guess he works under Kirin, is my guess. He has green hair. There it is. Mothership Vice Captain General Commander of the garrison. His name is Lopobia Koruro. Possibly he's the traitor. We don't know for sure yet, but it's looking like he's probably the one because he did pull his phone out. He noticed Hajin Sung and Cha in disguise walking past. Hajin Sung has his whole ass hand in his pocket. He doesn't even look like he blends in. And he's like, it's them. Turn my phone on. Maybe to communicate with them. That could be a red herring, but it looks like he turned his phone to communicate and he's like, I want to get the hell out of here. Which means he wants to escape for some reason. So that's awesome. We'll see what Hajin Sung and Cha can do together. Can I ask you guys a question? I don't remember asking you guys this. Hajin Sung has been like pretty like fine for the time being right now. It is what it is. It looks like they're gonna actually have a pretty decent role, all things considered. I don't recall ever asking you guys what your personal opinion is of Cha as a character right now or so far. Like, do we like him? Do you not like him? Indifferent? There's things to like. You got to see more. Like, how do you guys feel about Cha so far? I'm not entirely sure what his thematic role is supposed to be. But he's strong. He got them strong ass punches. So I'll give him credit where credit is due. I liked his fight with Hatsu versus was it Kendrick? Was his name Kendrick Lopobia Kendrick Dial? I think his name was. That was pretty good, but I didn't like him off rip because he immediately bent the knee to Bam, was like super subservient. I'm like, I don't like that. But I'm cool with Cha right now, so we'll see. I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad that just Jinsung and Cha weren't just forgotten. I was wondering where they were, what they were doing. So I'm glad we got to see this chapter. I also like the insider idea. Really sells the idea that everything is in motion right now. Agreed. At first, I didn't like him since he came off as a kiss ass for Bam, but he's been all right. Aside from that, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Fair enough. Cha's literally just fine to me. He does his job, throwing hands and slurping Bam. I like him. He's one of the two competent people on FUG. The other being Jinsung. Nah, you're dissing Sophia, bro. Sophia went crazy. I like Sophia, the elder. Not Kel Hello. He's a bozo. But Sophia was going kind of crazy. I feel it. So far, okay. I hope we get more in depth with the first human. Oh yeah, he's like the first son of the first man or first something something in the tower. I like him so far as a meathead, but I want to see more with him. I want some relevance for him being an ancient warrior. I could see that. And he was part of Hidden Grove, or was a co-leader of Hidden Grove, along with Moron, aka Doan. Chaz, Chaz Power is cool, looks cool, but have very little to go on with his character. Descendant of the first man, whatever that means. Yeah, we'll see. Sometimes I wonder if the tower was actually full of like abominations, and then like humanoid like beings came in. I wonder. It'd be interesting to think about. Aren't people based from plants? Oh, actually, I think you were. Actually, wait. Nenea had that theory from something she was talking about. I know you're talking about. I remember that actually. That's a good point. Nen was talking about that around the time we learned about the Lopobia family, Uncle Yasracha, and all those things. Wang Wang. That's a good point. That's a good. I might. You know what? I'm gonna keep that in the back pocket. Hold on. Was Kirin the one who survived and was told to send a message about war? No, that was Lopobia Holland. He was the one of the hatchlings with the green hair, who was with Perseus, and he was with Owl, Perdity and Owl, and he basically Jinsung burned the one, cooked the other one, and told him to go whatever. He even took out Candide, and you remember the guy who punched Calivan, and Calivan was like, "Nigga, was that a jab? Ain't no way that was a real punch." They're like in the mud. They're like sacked up and fucked up in the chair like this too. So I think it was them. Probably some ugly ass fish people. They said the first things in the tower were plants and machines. That was Nenea which said that. I don't know. I don't know if she's a reliable narrator, but we'll keep that in our back pocket though. That's interesting to think about. But let's keep moving. So how does Song and Cha have things to do? So that is nice. Jinsung able to see the top of the building where the snakes are at, and also Zamzam and Mate. How do you guys have felt about the back and forth with I'm gonna say mate for now, mate and Zamzam, because I'm actually getting small things here that I really like. And this is why I tell you guys, like with me, these type of things go a long way because it showcases to me that these guys are actually high ranking, high official combatants from this standpoint alone. Zamzam's like, okay, I don't know what kind of spear user he is. He's holding a spear, so he assumes he's a spear user, possibly. Okay, he's holding it. So here's what I'll do to see if he will throw it or use it. I'll fly to him normally, and once I'm close, I'll double my speed with my wings, so I'll be way more evasive. Obviously, he didn't let it go, but they're thinking. My point is, they're thinking like, here's my strategy. I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna run up and shield. If he grabs, I'll spot dodge. Like I like that. Then Mate's like, oh nah, this is just for drip, and starts punching him. Then I'm like, okay, well, Zamzam seems to be physically outclassed, but his legs seem to have been strong enough maybe to break Thing's hand. So Mate had to reinforce his own hand. Then he's like, well, if you're just going to defend, you're on my home court. This is my environment. Eventually, you will be surrounded. I'm going to just send the drones, baby. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. And he wasn't doing this for quite some time. And he's brought it back low key since like Al and Hodgins song and Horny Bird using the darkness field and things of that nature. I need more of this. This makes fighting way more enjoyable. Because even if someone is like, I'm Hodgins song, I'm a higher ranker, and you're a ranker, I'm stronger than you, it's like, okay, but I have this book ability. This might be the thing that gives me a puncher's chance against the person I'm fighting against. I like it. I'm very excited. Um, Irregulars are literally just invasive species of tower. Facts. Made to surprise me a little. Rack needs to take notes. Facts. I'm slightly underwhelmed from a power POV since we've been hanging around high records and BAM for a long point, but otherwise it's been solid. I don't even know because it seems like the explosives are pretty damn dangerous, all things considered. But power wise, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like is an issue. Like I'm sure Yuri can cause massive havoc, but she understands the more structural integrity of that, the more that the structural integrity of the hotel is at like risk, it's probably likely to summon trauma ring, which is why she condensed it. I will take control over power when I know you have the power already. This is control over power. It's like saying, "Oh, Superman's weak because he's flying and he's not punching people and buildings are breaking." Clark Kent can control the output of his speed and power to not damage the environment around him. So I hear you, though. I hear you. I'll take stagnating power with strategy over things escalating to people mindlessly throwing out Kamehamehas I can't follow. Facts. I gotta stop putting my phone on silent. What's up, Nye? What's up? You missed a live reaction, but we are talking about the greatness of Zamzam and Mate right now. It's been good. It's been good. More bangs equal more visual noise. Yep. So that was really good, man. So I like that. So plus he knows that he can't enter the thing. So yeah. So I like that it seems that, well, I don't know if you guys took notice of this. I don't know if it means anything. It's possible that Mate just decided that the spear is strong enough structurally that it won't take that much damage. Or maybe for some reason he can't cope the spear in his would that mean no, but his clothes are ripping though. So I'm starting to wonder if maybe organic things he can coat in concrete, but inorganic he can't, which would be usually backward. Anyways, his spear doesn't turn to concrete. Everything else around him does, especially Sharknose, aka the Dugong he's riding. So he's even added defense to the Dugong. Very interesting. Very interesting ability. I want to see more stuff like this, man. It's been very nice to see. Plus, he still seems to fight like a half family member. He just starts punching him and starts jabbing him, right? So we know he's a hybrid, but all this has been really good. All consistent. I like it. Concrete man out here killing. I really enjoyed this Zamzam fight. I feel it, man. I feel it. And also, we've learned that we don't know this for a fact, but he heard that apparently dopers, if they're forced to, surround themselves in their element, there's a blowback later. He said, I've heard that the process is followed by excruciating pain. I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe he's a special outlier because he's an outlier family, but I would argue Hendo's family might have abilities similar to this as defenders. Like, what if Hendo can like call himself in Diamond Josu type beat, impenetrable? You know, like I want to see more stuff like this. I like this, man. I read this chapter jumbled up. LOL. Did you really? So anyways, so yeah, that's the mate section. Zamzam was also hurting himself attacking mate, which is dope. So shout out to those drones, those missiles. That stuff was awesome. We start talking about the intruder and traders and stuff. So Hodin Sung and Cha, they go into disguise mode. They go up the elevator. They try to relieve them of duty and just fit in and blend in. And then that's when I guess Kirin calls Koruro. He says, "Oh, Sir Kirin, there's been a bunch of noise. It's fine though." And I think he's the traitor. What do you guys think? Could you guys, if you had to guess on somebody right now who's a traitor of the Lopabia family or the mole or the collaborator, who do you guys think it is? I think Kururo is a very obvious answer, but does anyone think it's too obvious and it's a red herring? You think it's somebody else? What if it's Kirin? What do you guys think? I'm gonna wait for the chat to catch up to me. Sorry, but I wonder if this was Loki out of order. I don't know. I wonder if the Keating part was supposed to happen after the break. I feel like the break for the chapter where they put like Tails in Utero Tower of God, 52nd floor, the dark change. I feel like that. Yeah. You think Keating isn't a traitor? Okay. As of right now, the grandpa's the obvious choice. That's true. So I forgot about him too. Laura's granddad or whatever related to Lily Y'all, he's probably the obvious choice. That's my bad. You're right. You're totally right. Sly the guy. The grandpa is obvious choice since Charmer kidnapped his daughter and Jonah doesn't like him. I thought it was the vice commander dude introduced this chapter. Honestly, it's possible that Keating and Kururo are both insiders and they're collaborators, although I think it's just Kururo. Okay. Because sometimes I think that as a community, like I always say there's varying levels to fandom, right? I say like there's like you're a hater. You don't like it. You're a pathing? Wow, I have a lisp. A passing enthusiast, a super fan, and then like crackhead. For things like One Piece, Kingdom Hearts, once in a while, Tower of God, and like Avatar, I'm a crackhead. I overthink everything. I look at every nook and cranny. I overanalyze every line, every panel, every animation frame to see if I can figure something out, right? For certain people, they're just like a passing enthusiast. So like Star Wars for me is something like that. Not anymore. I hate Star Wars now, but like I like when Star Wars was popular, I kind of come in. So I wonder if I'm overthinking certain things, but I would like if it was Keaty and Loki though. I would like. I don't overthink it though. I have a habit of overdoing that sometimes, and but but sometimes the answer is very obvious, and they want you to overthink. So I don't want it being multiple traders to be frank. A lot of characters in the arc have a ball to pick with the low B of or Trom specifically. Low Badam would be also make sense. I'm too unsure to make a concrete decision about his allegiances. That's fair. All right, man. I wonder what their literal motivations for not wanting to be here anymore too, because he does say so it's them now. Then the time to come, the time for has come for me to get out of here. But this line, I was someone interpreting me like, oh, I found them already. Let me deal with them and get out of here and go back to relaxing. But he pulled his phone out. Out of his phone to communicate with someone else or to contact Hodgin Sung. So like I'm getting mixed messages here. I'd like it if it's a red herring at some degree, but anyways. Let's keep it pushing. So we got Princess Bidau, Tiara, the greatest, the one that moves the needle, the master, the mistress of the pen, the master of the pen. And we got Yuri or whatever, I guess. No, okay. We got Princess Lopobia Yuri, Yuri Jahad. This fight has not been too long, but it's been highly enjoyable. The same way Zamzam or Jam Jam versus Mate Mate has been. Hopefully the traders aren't on some mindless plan like the dogs in the dog arc. Fair enough. Trauma's portrays are pretty uninvolved family heads, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the family isn't on the side. I could see that. It's the problem of like as a boss, so to speak, being too lax. You'll have dissenters or people who take control in their own ways and maybe get a little, yeah. So I can see a true adjusting out here moving his people while Trauma really pops head to say, exactly. So you see the Yuri's rose Shinsu quality. I wonder if the roses could do anything else, but basically she condenses it and flicks it, right? And Tiara in that moment says that, for her literature and her power of words to work, she needs a subject. What the fuck did she say? Sorry, I'm trying to find the part here. Blah 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 blue 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 blah 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 blah. Surprising, right? The power of words. As long as there's a subject and a scenario, I can write anything I want. She turned her body into a body of Shinsu who can't be hurt by Shinsu, and then said, "I can use the same Shinsu compressed flick dense attack you used, but I'll do 4 bangs instead of 1." I wonder if the number of bangs she picked was significant because she did. You guys said she said realism in the other one and reality in here. So I think it's like, okay, let me think. It has to be feasible or possible for her to maybe achieve if she practiced hard enough. I wonder if it's possible for her to learn to use that with 4 bangs. Maybe she just can't yet. I don't know. I don't know the limitation. I hate doing this when I just learned an ability and I'm like, what are the limitations? I need to know. But I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna have fun speculating. I wonder what the limitation of the book is. Like, if she's very slow and she runs into somebody who's fast, can't she be like, I now have the speed of Barry Allen, the Flash? And like, I don't know. What do you guys think the limitations are? How does it work? Can't you do whatever? Could you say I can control the family head? Like, I'm sure there's obvious limitations and things she can and cannot do. But what do you guys thinking, man? One thing that could be very cool that if Keating is the insider, then it could relate to Trauma Ray's memories and knowing the man Trauma Ray used to be, and it's related to his betrayal. Maybe Trauma Ray was the one who's something of a betrayal to his people. But it also makes it crazy if it's Keating because you probably think that Keating is one of the people that's close to him, you know? And he did this, and he did this. And he's like, that's why I don't trust anybody. That's why I subjugate people, anima. Drew Rusting out here moving his people while Trauma Ray passes and say, "Ha, we got some new abilities." Absolutely. Yuri out here getting beaten by an English literature major. Shout out to us English and journalism people. We out here, yeah, gang gang. I think it has to be realistic. Otherwise, she could realistically start copying attacks from the family heads. Fair enough. I think it has to be realistic. I just read that. So if she can physically do it, she can make it a reality. Is that what you're thinking? I'm thinking that's my train of thought is going along that trajectory. So let me give you an example. When's the first time I ran 100 meters in 10 seconds? I think I was 16. I think I was 16 or 15. But let's say I'm 13. And and let's say at 13 I run 100 meters in 11 seconds, 11.5 seconds, right? But if I keep training and I get older and I grow and mature, I will have the ability to run at Olympic times. So if I write that in the book, I can do it because it's possible, or one day I could do that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I guess I'm taking on my feet. I don't know. No idea. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, though, Chief. Gustang would have had her copy the Shin Swan Ryu and go crazy, possibly. Me wondering how an ability works is usually a good thing. I've certainly didn't have to speculate on how all the beams work pre-hiatus. I agree with that. The fact that I'm thinking about it and it's caused a lot of intrigue is a good thing. It's good for discourse. The Tiara needs to win Bam's hand in marriage and remain a mainstay going forward. I kind of want it, but I'm okay with her, doing her own thing. Like Sly said, it could be realistic from her perspective, or based on the amount of Shinsu, might be a fine line between fiction and reality that she cannot break. Tiara's too much for Bam to handle. Bro can't even stand up to Endorsey. Facts. Haha, you aren't wrong. Like, different colored beams are interesting. Come on, guys. Oh, don't forget, sometimes there's a fire beam. Ooh, the fire beam. It burns and it's destructive. I wonder if it's limited to okay, she said scenario, right? So it's limited to the things that I can see. I can't summon a meteor from space. I don't know if there's meteors in space right now, right? So it's like, okay, in this room, see, now I'm wondering, can I final destination this where it's like this water bottle falls and flips the phone, then the phone hits me in the head, and then like trip into the like electric socket and electrocute myself. Like I'm going crazy. I'm probably not that. And we also know the book. If she writes people's names in it for whatever reason, you go inside the book, and if you open it, you come out. So I'm wondering if this actual great piece of literature that she has multiple abilities. What is a third one? And someone brought this up earlier. I can't remember who it was. I'm sorry, I forgot. Which will be, I think, even more interesting. That the book actually doesn't do that. She's completely pretending to do that. Bonjour, mon coeur. She's completely pretending that the book does that in order to basically act like to make her think like if I take the book or whatever, she can't do it, and this is an ability she has. I don't know, man. It's getting good. It's getting interesting. Tiara moving the needle, baby. Bidau season. This might be the family. They might be the ones, man. They be reading. It's moving me. Hold on. Let me drop it in. It's moving me, man. I'm tremendously moved. It can be interesting if Tiara cannot break logic, but Bam is a regular who is an entity that doesn't follow normal logic. I don't know, man. I have no idea. But I definitely think this is probably more in the realm of a spell than it is like traditional Shinsu. I think Bam could just touch it and it won't work for the most part, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Hope I'm not missing so far. Nah, if the book don't do it, it doesn't move me. Nah. I like the idea that maybe the book I don't know if the book would just work like Kun's bag, but if she was doing that to make you think she has to write it down in order to use it, but really there's some other criteria for her to create the realism in a scenario to do something like use Yuri's own attack against her, I'm okay with that, especially if it tricks Yuri and Yuri doesn't realize that. And maybe later down the line that someone figures it out. I'm trying to remember an instance where someone was doing that where they're like the symbols you're throwing out actually don't mean anything. You're just like this fast. You make it seem like you do, and then you get a burst of speed, but really your legs are just strong enough to do that. This is to make me think that's the activation, so I focus on it. It's like a magician thing where you like, what do they say with magicians? You have to like deceive the person. I can't remember. I don't know. I can't do magic. I'm sorry. Do you think Gustang Ruination is the same as Tiara's ability? No, I just think he's a very powerful family head and an irregular who can do stuff like that, especially as a wave controller whose specialty is in controlling Shinsu. He can just blow that shit up. I do like the idea that maybe some of it's a bit of a family thing. I don't know, though. I do think it's the book, though. That's just me. Was it the Raikage versus Minato? No, I'm not thinking of that. I did this because I was just doing jutsus, but I don't remember. I don't even remember that fight. Oh, in like the forest or whatever. Is that during the like Obito flashback with their flying Raijin something? No, I wasn't thinking about that. I'm thinking of a comic book. Honestly, I'm pretty sure. No need to speculate about Bam. He can do everything, anything, and nothing works in him because he's special, something like that. Yep. If he's just raw while doing it, I'm good. From what I see, Tiara can write things to make possible. Gustang, meanwhile, just uses the words to do those. So maybe Gustang speaks it out, or he can imagine it in his head. And maybe the limitation on him is not as limited because he's a family head and a regular. Interesting to think about. That's not how I want it to work. That's fine. That's how I want. That's how you want it to work. That's fine. What if the pen is special, not the book? That also would be cool. Maybe Yuri thinks it's the book, and she takes the book and like ha ha ha, and then she just writes it in the air, like you become a toad. You become 1 foot two. I don't know. Wait, is that Fire Force? No, Fire Force. I don't think that's Fire Force. I think Fire Force. The symbols had to do with the breathing technique and outburst of power that Benny Maru and Shinra were using. I don't think it was a. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm thinking of right now. I'll remind me on Twitter, on Discord later, and I'll come up with something. Remind me. I like the idea of Malik that it's a pen though. I kind of like the idea that she just nasty with Shinsu. Isn't the Pobedal family trait being good with Shinsu or control techniques? We don't know yet. We don't know what like. To me, the thing that seems to be consistent about their family that they're bookworms and read a lot. I think their power could be related to literature, but Gustang is a talented wave controller, though it's highly probable that Eurasia is more talented than he was, but he is one that discovered it, so give him credit. The book is sus for sure. Could also seem suspicious of what the book actually did when they were putting the book earlier. I agree with that. I caught that. I agree with that. Being a regular doesn't mean he could do anything. Urat can't even get a single girl to like him. He's not a Riz god. He don't got Riz. He's not Riz god Bam. Then again, it's a very common trope. Agreed. If the pen is the medium, that's fine. Maybe Tiara's an axis. No, she's not. That's Phantom Minimum right there pretending to be somebody else. Phantom Minimum is Tiara. Nah, I don't think so. That'd be cool, man. But god damn it, man. That's how he's been cooking, right? How what do you guys think? He's been cooking. Like I think he's been cooking. He's been doing really well. I really got no complaints, man. I'm seeing new abilities. I love the mosquito drones, Zamzam, Tiara, the power of books in the books. Her killing all the Dugons except the young one because the young one still has a bit of his free will. All of that has been honestly, truly fantastic from top to bottom, and I don't have any crazy complaints. Even Mate, he's been doing his thing. Shout out to the hybrids, man. The hybrid families out here. They're out here. We haven't seen the aftermath with Bam and the sea snake. Is he hurt? We'll see. Um, we also don't know what's been happening with Endorsi versus Lilial. We have been away from that for a couple of weeks now. I think a few weeks. So that remains to be seen. That's been going on, but I'm having fun, man. I can't say I've had this like. I think I would say the beginning of Tower God of season 3. I was having fun because it was gone for a while, but this is the most fun I've been having in season 3. Easily. I was on the up and up for a long stretch with Trauma Ray's reintroduction and things of that nature. But man, these 16 chapters or so have been good, man. We're good. We're in good form. SIU's in good form right now. He's not in top form yet. He's not back to peak season 2 form, but he's in good form right now. He's giving me a goal every other game or an assist. I'm happy. I'm happy. Not gonna lie, I expect to be more upset about this arc considering the context. Yeah, I honestly glad I was wrong. Like I said, I want to be wrong about these things sometimes. Liboric got to show up now. Nah, he's bum. He's a bum. We've established the TOG Holy Trinity of Zamzam, Cobalt, and Mule Love. It's time to ascend, bro. They're the goats. They're the goats. They're the goats. That's the Holy Trinity, yo. That's the Holy Trinity for real. The trifecta of awesome. I've been having a good time. Good. I've been blown away. SIU's been pulling me back into the series. Didn't think it would happen. That's the thing too, where I was like, he got me back invested pretty quickly. So I've been talking about it. Actually, one of my friends, he works in the gym in Niagara. The Canadians have Niagara. He's like two and a bit hours away. He came back for his birthday and he's asked me how I've been feeling. Actually, I'm like, yo, it's been good. And he caught back up and we're talking about it. So I was talking about it on the weekend a little bit too. And I can't remember the last time, unless I'm voice noting someone specific, where I had a Tower God conversation outdoors. I remember there were Sundays where me and Alan would be chilling and 9 o'clock hits and we stop talking to read Tower God and talk about it after the fact. He's like, yo, it's 9. I'm like, oh, bet. Yo, did Jahad just come to the floor? What the fuck? They hit the floor it's coming back. We're coming back, bro. We're coming back. As I've been cooking, just had Kubera on the brain for the longest. Honestly, with the recent chapter of Kubera, I'm back to oh my effing god, we must speak about this, which will probably be tomorrow, guys. But tomorrow, I was with the people who've seen the stream. But the stuff with Rao, I'll leave it at that, and the ship and everything with Mirha, it was taking too long for me. It was dragging. But now we're hitting some. So yeah, the pet of the Holy Trinity is Water Jelly. Yes, Water Jelly. Facts. Or mascot. Love is the Father. Zamzam the Son. And Cobalt the Holy Spirit. I'm still here for this. I think the characters itself are what making the arc fun so far. The story's still not really gripping me yet, but this return has been the strongest so far. All things considered, Katam, they've just kind of been fighting. They're like, all right, time for this ceremony. I don't really want to do this, so go kill everybody in the hotel floor right now. But it's been good, though. It's been entertaining. That's fair, though. Funny as he gets back into good form through setting up the most goofy arc premise right before the hiatus. Facts. I was shaking in my boots when Zard popped up. We'll never forget that, Morgan. Never. I was like, yo, is he here? Later on, we learned in the blog post he sent his power through the hidden floor, but I was like, we're dead. It's over. It's like seeing Kaido, bro. Like, what the F? Tiara's climbing is one of my favorite characters. Actually, for real. Like, for real, she is. Like, I might have her at 10. I really am. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I made a video. I haven't put it up yet, but it's been made. I've, I've already been gassing her. I've been liking the water effects for stuff like Tiara Bam getting his arm back. Has been nice. The water aspect with the Shinsu being reinforced recently. I agree. People are actually made of this stuff, which is a cool visual. I think the thing is everybody could talk about it because the community wasn't spread into like 4 categories. Jahad had me effing shook, especially that godly drip of his and how fucked he made me feel for everyone else. Yup. The thing too, the only thing that makes the discussion with Tower of God difficult in a space like this or like online is official readers, raw readers, and then varying levels of fast pass. Are you 1 fast pass, 2 fast pass, 3 fast pass, 4 fast pass? So you never know where anyone is. That's the only thing that's been difficult about Discord. But outside of that, it's been fine for me, man. Tiara season in full swing. The book club is winning. Yep. I like Tiara, man. She's moving me tremendously. I was shocked. I figured she's gonna be a crazy loon that just like is off her rockers. I wasn't gonna like her. The Meganate is moving me. I like her a lot. She's super dope, man. So shout out to her. Yo, I still think she's hiding more, like capabilities. Like, think about this, which has been fun. When you think about some of the high-ranking officials, I spoke about the fact that Mate is like a half family member, so he's probably athletic and has a sturdy body, sandbag, whatever, technician. But it looked like physically and just his like weird mosquito dragonfly feet, his foot was strong enough to maybe break his hand, and then Mate had to actually reinforce it with concrete. Yuri is a princess that's whose body's been reinforced by the power of blood, the procedure, plus a half family member, and Tiara was able to headbutt her, and they both took a little bit of damage. I like that. I think more of that should be needed. I think obviously no one is gonna think that Jam Jam is physically more sturdy, I guess, than Mate, and Yuri is less athletic than Tiara, but you're not so outclassed to the point that you'll take a headbutt and your head will blow off. It's very good stuff, man. Very good stuff. I tell you guys, I promise you guys, it's hard to realize, hard to notice if you don't really study storytelling the way that I do, but it's the little things and their compounding effect that help make so much small things more palatable and make more sense. The same way, you might not have one big plot hole that makes the ship sink, but throughout, let's say, 600 chapters, there's a little inconsistency here, a little plot hole here. This didn't make so much sense. It's like a death by 1,000 paper cuts. There's 1,000 holes now in the ship, and now it can't maintain its buoyancy because there's so many small things that add up. So, shout out to you, Slave and Nero. You've been doing your thing, man. I want to know how powerful that book is. She might stand a chance if a family head right now. I'm convinced. You think so? That's what's crazy. I thought she was crazy, but now she might be cooking. I don't think it's that. I don't think the book can do things. I think she's already made it clear that there's a realistic and realism that has to be followed when it comes to the scenarios and the subject and the setting when she's creating the whatever with the power of words. So I don't think she could be like, I'm as strong as Traumaray, or I can use all creatures. I could use Urek Mazino's super mega supreme punch. I don't think she could do stuff like that. I don't know. Like, see, John Sula is interesting to think about because you can train to become one. Lororo is not a Kun family John Sula. He took the test and got the Pikachu dot to showcase he could do it. So maybe using someone else's Shinsu quality isn't that crazy. because ideally, I guess Tiara could learn to do that. I don't know if she could learn something like Rax Rock Throw or a Inferno Orb that Ivanka Hell has. I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's early. This literally reminds me of us trying to figure out what Law's powers can do by the time we saw him on Punk Hazard against Smoker, where we had no idea what the limitations were. This is literally what's giving me flashbacks to BBM BlackBerry Messenger with my anime manga group days in high school. Like, goddamn. Not sure there's some sort of gimmick that stops it from being a good weapon against family heads. I'm sure, yeah. It seems like the natural conclusion to Shinsu can do anything. Well, it wouldn't matter anyways because Tiara is an in-tower habitant. In-tower habitants cannot hurt and or attack the family heads who have the immortality contract. Irregulars can technically kill other irregulars. And bam, with the thorn, the needle to slit the thorn, the thorn of the king, and Ryu, Arlene leaving it in the floor of the hand of Arlene, blah blah blah. Yes, Bam could technically kill them because people don't realize that immortality comes in stages. There's like true objective immortality. You cannot die. You will not die and you cannot be killed. A lot of immortal beings cannot die from natural causes, but if you have the right material, let's say they're a original vampire from Vampire Diaries, and you have a stake made from the tree of the white oak, you can kill an original. And then there's like, weird stuff like Wolverine, like he could healing factor that makes him pretty much, unkillable, but Wolverine can die. You get what I'm saying? The family had burying her before she could write anything. Facts. Honestly, just waiting to see what Rachel is cooking. True, that goes against the realism. Yeah, wonder if she ever makes an unrealistic demand and it gets a huge debuff or dies. I wonder. Also, you're wondering if she tries to create something too unrealistic, it's actually a detriment to her. Like, now that you've done this, you're a 16% decrease in speed for 10 seconds or something. That's interesting to think about. I kind of like that. Regulars can be killed by regulars though, right? Because he made no contract. I mean, Bam. Well, Bam, yes. Bam is not an immortal. Sorry, I said irregulars in general. I'm so sorry. I meant the 13 Great Warriors with the immortality contract. So Hendo does not fall into that. Bam, Rachel, some other irregulars may not fall into that. I meant the ones from the pilgrimage. That's my fault. My bad. And I think V turned it down. So yeah, that's my fault. Otherwise, 4 banks is a low amount for someone so strong. Well, you have to remember, Yuri makes it seem like what she did is a high level Shinsu technique. That was even more impressive than what Tiara was doing to all the guards that we saw. Yuri doesn't seem to be able to use more than one, so maybe 4 was the limit. Like 4 is realistic. I think I could learn to do this 4 times, because Bam's ability to use so many bangs is still seen as very special, just from a general standpoint. It can be interesting if Tiara can only consider in-tower knowledge for reality, but Gusting has outside knowledge so he can do unknown words. I like that. Do you guys think the guy fighting Zamzam is a descendant of an ancient? No, I think he's just a hybrid of 2 people. No, I don't think just because we see someone who could use like rock, stone, concrete, I don't know, something in that realm is going to mean they're ancient related. I don't think so. That's it. If he is though, that's quite intriguing to think about. But to me, that's not the criteria to be an ancient. To clarify, Jahad is the one with the contract that prevents him from becoming hurt or damaged in any way from non-irregulars, alongside being unable to die from them. Family heads only have the eternal life and can't die, but can still be hurt from correctly. I remember that there's an extra stipulation to Jahad's contract. That might be what it is. From him, it's like anyone who's born in the tower cannot attack him even. So no. You're right. Actually, you're right. You're right. That's what it is. If you're an in-tower habitant, you can't even attack Jahad. Like, you physically, through the rules of the tower, you just can't do it. Like, you don't have the free will. Because we've seen Yas Fracha attack Traumare, he just trifled to him. You're totally right. Good catch. That's what it was. I'm trying to remember the extra stipulation, John. That's a good catch. Good catch. Do you ever wonder if the admins ho Hendo wanting with Harold? Well, we know that he has to basically fuck for his lifespan. He has to sire children in order to get his lifespan. I don't know if it was a falling out with him and the family or something, or maybe the admins were like, we can't do it for some reason. I have no idea what to think. There's that's too much speculation. I have very little to work off. But if you want me to just throw a headcanon out there, I think it's because Jahad doesn't fuck with him. Out of all the family heads, he fucks with him the least. And they fucked him over. That's what I think. Well, Anak was able to use 4 bags in season 2, but it's yet oh my god. The technique that Yuri is using, while we don't think it looks impressive, based off what she said, is a high level Shinsu technique that not even Tiara can do. Tiara's high density blow off body parts of other people's bodies, I thought was a high level technique. It probably is. What Yuri did is even higher level. Therefore, even using 4 of those seems to be rather different. Am I speaking Egyptian? Am I speaking Kryptonian? I'm not saying people can't use multiple bangs. Using regular bangs for a regular beam is not the same as like Bam using like tension packed BAMs on bangs, like 6 of them. There's levels to this. Levels. Bam, Ureka, Rachel, the only ones who can. Oops, sent that early. Um, remember in the Nest arc, the lizard guy fighting him said that not all rules of the tower are absolute. That's true, but I don't think the REA swordsman is actually an absolute law. I just think it's quite literally nigh impossible, virtually impossible to dodge the attacks of the REA swordsmanship, especially if they're super high level and skilled. So it comes across as a law of the tower. You can't dodge it. Thus, Machete says, tank the hit it with something stronger. Meant to say, why did the admins hold specifically? Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Don't mess with us TOG fans. We can't read. For all we know, the book have a special quality like how Bam can break spell. I personally think the book is like White's book that is special and can break certain rules like not killing. Yeah, brother. I don't know what story you're reading. She cannot do anything against any type of family head. I agree with you. It could be. You said black man say strange words. Um, I don't think that she can do anything to a family head or like. I think Bam can negate the abilities of her book because I think it's spell related more likely than not. I'm not. I think that Tiara versus anybody who's a direct descendant or an in tower habitant or even princesses has a puncher's or a fighting chance no matter what. I do think there are certain people that are just strict completely out of her league, out of her category, and that includes people like Traumare, Gustang, X, Y, and Z. I do not think that book is special enough that she could hurt like Gustang or something. I'm sorry. Do you think the family heads can kill each other? My working hypothesis is no, only Bam, Urek, Rachel can right now. Hmm. Maybe they can hurt each other, but they can't kill each other. I do understand why you say that because I do hold the line the thorn to slit the throat of the king with like the admin's corpse, the red Thressa, getting all the thorn fragments and whatnot. The thorn fragments are also very powerful. We've seen it give Bam the ability to use Shinsu when Hell Joe took that ability away, and not even Urek could use it. We've seen it pierce Yuri's skin. We've seen Yuri be hit by a lot, including some of her old attacks in conjunction with the World of Darkness that Karaka used. Nary a scratch. But the red Theresa in the Floor of Death was able to draw blood, and then the second thorn fragment helped Bam teleport away from Jahad. I think that thorn is very significant in terms of how powerful it is. But I really don't think it would be crazy if Gustang and Trombre can kill each other, but I think maybe they could just hurt each other and maybe possibly imprison one another or seal them or do something. Maybe chop them up into pieces. I don't know. Good questions are being asked here. I'm gonna revisit the immortality contract. We could kind of reread it, revisit some stuff in the blog post, and then I'll give you guys a better, more concrete answer than what I've done so far. Blah blah blah. Because Bam mother couldn't kill herself. That is true. That is true. Do you think she could throw hands with Adori? I think Adori probably outclasses her, but again, I think the book would give Tiara a puncher's chance against Adori. The right scenario, the right level of realism, the right inspiration hits her, and she can create a situation that maybe she can wield her S ranked 13-month series even better than she can, something of the sort. So I believe that they, by taking the contract, they made them immortal, so family heads shackle themselves to that same contract. Fair. I wonder if there's some hierarchy. If Arya and Kun family head can hurt each other, but not Jahad. I think Jahad maybe could only be killed by like on a wreck or Bam, maybe. Similar to how the admin of Floor 2 says that Bam can shackle himself by taking his contract. True. Oh yeah, like you don't need this. Yeah, fair enough. A blog post with the leader right and retconned. Well, some a lot of them were retconned, not all of them were. I never heard that every single blog post ever was. If they are, I'll stop talking about them for the rest of my life. But certain things did suffer from retroactive continuity, and certain things just aren't a thing anymore. So that is a thing. I speak your comment twice. I hope Bam doesn't end up being the one that beats Tiara by just nullifying the book powers because that would be boring. My bad, brother. I didn't see that. That's my fault. I'm an idiot. I don't hate anybody. Do we even know what magic is? I thought it was vague. I always thought it was separate from Shinsu. It's not that I don't think it's separate or vague. Bam is a walking spell breaker. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if people will use things like magic and spells if Bam's in the vicinity. He's just gonna be like, no, it'll work, it'll work. That's all I'm saying. But no, we don't know the full extent of what it can do yet. I was hoping we could get that maybe with a Cardi popping up sooner rather than later, or some spellcaster or spell user. I don't know about it's the old block holes I think were retcons. I don't know about old block holes and retcons, but they are deleted. It should be noted that it's hard to archive and record them because of that. Did he actually delete them? That I didn't know. I didn't know he deleted them. I think Goldeye's page is still up from way back in the day, so I should be okay. They're retcon, but they gave insight to SA's mindset at the time. True. Hopefully the family heads can kill each other because there's no real tension if Gustang and Tron will come face to face in this war. Unless there's some type of way you can seal, imprison a family head, which I don't know makes sense to me. Unless, like, what if? To me, the way this makes sense maybe is if there's places in the tower that act like outside the tower, maybe. Because I've always wondered if you're not an access, right? And I'm Bam, and Bam goes to the outside world. Does Bam retain all the abilities that he has in the tower outside of it? So I've always wondered if there was like a weird like outside inner tower area and you threw an irregular there, they'd just be normal because it's like them being back outside before they inhabited the tower. Or whatever natural skills you had from the world you came from is what you're limited to. So maybe you were like an MMA, you're a style bender, you know? You were nice with it. You could fight, you're athletic, but you can't shoot beams though. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. I think there are things worse than death though. Hopefully family has yeah, the ones that translated also sprinkled into the manga decks company chapters. Okay, cool. I thought Trauma intended to use BAM to kill Gus Dang. That is a good point. So maybe there's truth to the fact that none of the irregulars and of each other could actually kill one another, and BAM is the key for that. Put Trauma on house arrest, have that dude stuck playing League for the rest of eternity. Fate worse than death. Facts. What do you think Gus Dang's end game with kidnapping Bam? If Bam is so important, why did he not take him during the floor of death at the workshop? Maybe he wasn't strong enough yet. Maybe the level of power he amassed wasn't enough for him to be able to utilize him yet, and maybe that's why he pretty much just gave him the second thorn fragment for a small favor. But at the time, oh no, actually no, I just answered the question. He needed Bam to go get the Fitbit from the treasure. No, he used the treasure stealing stingray to get it. He needed Bam to go into the hidden floor because they couldn't go with his party and get that Apple Watch. So that was probably why. After the fact, it was different. So he had a use for him before needing him now. That's what I think. Didn't all of them thought the regular was dead at one point? I don't know. I don't know if high rank. I don't know. Maybe the family didn't know either. That's a good question. Since there's no Shinsu outside the tower, how would they use the abilities they master in the tower? I wonder if maybe if they got really physically strong, they maintained their physicality, so maybe they can like hop off the air and like punch through concrete. But could you use Shinsu there? That remains to be seen. So I wonder if there's a way to just kind of negate what a family head can do by putting them in some type of weird prison where they can't really do ish. Food for thought. I'm probably overthinking that though. Have you ever read the TUS chapters on stream? Did I read that on stream, guys? I know I did the Tails user. I read the Tails user story, some Tails user story chapters, and I read the original Crown game with its older art style and talking about accesses and access Cs. I don't remember if I did it on stream, but I did read it though. There's a video. It's pretty like for my channel. It's pretty popular. That's like 3K views. So, but I did do it. Do they now have eternal Shinsu? I think Shinsu is. It seems to be more like something you draw on from the outside world, but I do think you probably have some type of inner Shinsu. But if you go to an area where it doesn't exist, can you use it? Or would it work? Would it work somewhat like a Kryptonian solar absorption ability? So if you have like Kara Zor-El and Kal-El, who have been absorbing the sun for like a week, and now they're in a part of space where there is red solar radiation which depowers them. They still have like 100% battery, and the more power they use, the more they deplete their yellow star solar energy and become more and more human. So could you like go there with like, this is how much of a finite pool of Shinsu I have, and it depletes, it depletes, it depletes? I don't know. Look at us asking all these questions. We theorizing. Didn't you read one of them? Not on stream, but on YouTube. Yeah, I know. There's a video. I don't remember if I read it on stream. Is what I was saying. I remember watching the video of you reading TUS chapters. Don't remember if it was on stream or just pre-recorded. Okay, fair enough. What do you think the tower is? And the tower is connected to the axis, and I think Fanta will show up. Like a lot of people think the purpose of the tower is to create an axis. The reason that I don't really have any major stipulations and care about what the tower is at this point is because I don't think the Tales user story universe will actually end up being a thing. I think Tower of God was much bigger of a project than he anticipated, which took a lot more out of him mentally, emotionally, and physically, which I think after Tower of God, he might just make some type of short story or spin off and not really care about the universe. So it's not something I'm thinking of. I don't think we're getting the Tower of God MCU, essentially, is what I'm saying. I don't think that shit matters anymore. I think initially, if he was still going to do that, then I think the tower, I would agree that I think maybe the tower's true purpose is to create an axis. But then again, how can another axis come to the tower like Fanta unless he was made in the tower, which we know he's not. So we got to think about those things. He might go back to short stories. Yes, I can see that. Or maybe just do one more thing. And maybe link it to Tower of God. Maybe do like a Soul Eater, Fire Force thing and do something to link it at some point in the end, you know? So, my bad if I spoiled y'all on that. My fault. But yeah. All being said, man, I'm very happy with right now. TOG is right now SLU's magnum opus. Absolutely. The only way we're getting TUS is if science successfully develops immortality. Yeah, so you get an immortality contract. He becomes AI and puts his brain in like the tube that like Dr. Giraud or the world's strongest scientist, whatever, uses, and he like continues his work through like artificial intelligence. After SCU is done with TOG, he might need at least 5 years of hiatus, 10, max 10. I feel that. Yes, he probably planned Tower God to just be one of the many stories in TOS universe, but he didn't think it would end up being this long or this impactful, this big, this popular. None of those things I don't think you could have foreseen. And it kind of reminds me. I think I read this somewhere, so don't take this with a grain of salt. I'm not saying this is an absolute definitive fact. I think Oda thought One Piece would take him 5 years, bro. It's like 25 years. It's a quarter century. You're so wrong. Dr. Willow. Yes, there we go. I really wish he just did novels or entire books. I would like that, but it's what it is. I mean, we all know he took the opportunity. Yep. Was Alabasta within 5 years? I don't remember because when I caught up to One Piece, we were already past Alabasta. I wasn't that early to One Piece. I know I've been when I caught up, we were in Water 7, but I wasn't. It wasn't that early for me, so I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. I think there's a list that shows you generally what time of year every chapter came out somewhere on interconnected webs. I don't know where you would find that. I don't have it. I don't have it handy or on me. So y'all think Yuri's in trouble, or you think Yuri's gonna be fine? I actually think Yuri's gonna be fine. I actually do like that this Yuri showcased in this fight that she still has a higher level of Shinsu ability than Tiara has, at least seemingly for now. You always said that was the initial ending. I think he also ends up saying in hindsight that's why Crocodile was introduced too early. But I hear you. Do you think SIU is good at leaking information like lore and world building? I think SIU keeps a lot of info close to the chest, which can cause people to lose interest. What do you mean by leaking information? Do you mean willingly letting us know? Let me just get a clarification. Like through interviews, tweets, blog posts, and or interviews, he lets you know certain things related to war and world building, like Eurasia can accelerate Shinsu and kill like 99% of a floor, or like telling us beforehand that Yama and Bay Road anymore. Or in the story, well, I'll wait for him to see. I want to know what he means specifically though, because then that changes my answers depending on what you think. I think you'll lose. You'll be all right. Don't worry. Be easy. I'm sure you'll be fine. Yuri dead. Only saying that so I can say it to Rand. She gonna get challenged, and I'm here for it. So am I. Yuri needs to be humbled, but she will be fine at the end. I do think she'll be okay. I don't think it. I think it'll be kind of inconclusive. But there was a time where he would give us info other than characters explicitly saying it out loud. I agree. That's why I want to know what he means by leaked. Like, I think if he meant in with one guy I knew thought it would take him 1 month to make a game. It took him 6 years and as a full time job. Yeah, you never know, man. What's up, JB? You never know, man. You never know what to expect with this type of stuff. Even me, actually, I'm notorious for like overestimating how quickly I can get something done. Like, bam, we didn't know anything about the guy until the floor of death, and it was basically like an info dump. So, okay. I think SIU has always been very good from a world building and lore standpoint of building up intrigue and interest in things that can happen or could happen or are feasible later down the line. And Ryu, you know, over 9,000 bangs. Crimson Shinsu make it rain. Hyping up Eurasia's ability, talking about some of the things with Gustang and her relationship, talking about the sealed away number sevens. But I do think that you're right that sometimes he keeps two things close to the chest that he has to do a super info dump. And while I'm not a fan of info dumps in general to that degree, I do think the one with Garum is one of my personal favorite ones. When she had Arlene's pocket, it was able to disseminate a lot of the information that Arlene had in there to Bam, which was nice. But he could be better at showcasing this stuff through the art and literature in a way that is explicit or implicit that makes us understand certain things about the characters. And I think he's been doing that a lot recently. So that's my answer. TOD main characters have true immortality that supersedes Jahad. Do you think there is stacking her book spells like one? I think it's one at a time. I think it's one at a time. I don't think it could be like my. I think once she wrote that she could use the four bangs, her invisible Shinsu body went out. I wonder if she could time limit stuff like for the next 10 seconds. I don't know. I could honestly make anything make sense right now with her ability if I really want to. So I feel like I should stop there. That one makes sense. Sometimes FC will drop random during lore info during character fighting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like he could stop it a bit more and do things a little bit better. In the story, there's a time where he would give us info other than characters could sing out loud. Yep, yep, yep. Yuri too marketable for neighbor executions. Let her die. Like there's an image of a meeting outside, and there was a wall like sunk symbol. Some of that stuff's really subtle. So if you caught that, really good shit. I didn't see that, but yeah, I don't know, man. I think Tiara is going to be fighting until. And you think they'll fight the end of the arc? I like the idea that maybe so much stuff is happening, and they're just having this like secluded duel, and then by the time they're like done, Bam and like Oguero and Rack, and Hajin Song and like Cha and like the traitor has like already been gone and left. We also have to see how this all ties back into like Rachel, what's going on in the Bidau mothership. Like, there's truly a lot to be happy about here, to be very interested in. I am I'm thoroughly impressed, man. Thoroughly impressed. All right, final question for y'all. Favorite panel of the chapter and your favorite piece of dialogue in the chapter, and what would you rate this chapter? I'm actually giving this chapter a 10 out of 10. My 10 doesn't mean perfect, it means masterpiece. There is not a single video game, no matter how much I liked it, book that I've read, no matter how much I like it, or thing that I watch, no matter how much I like it, that I think is perfect. I might say it was perfect for me or perfect for me in the time period, but I do not think there is any piece of literature or fiction or nonfiction without flaw. So when I say 10 out of 10, it doesn't mean it's perfect. It means I think it's a masterpiece. So remember that when I give things a 10. It doesn't mean flawless. You mentioned in the Discord. I actually think you did. I think I started scrolling and I have to cover my eyes real quickly. So I'll look at that in a second. So far, the two fights are moving me, and Dorsey versus Lilial should deliver 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10. Okay, okay, okay. 9 for you. What what I thought you said, Hunter x Hunter when Gon met Ging. No. 9 for me. No. No Hunter x Hunter. Togashi a bitch. My favorite panel is Mate hardening the shark nose. Really, yeah, I feel that. I thought you said it was. Yeah. So my favorite panel is actually the one with Zamzam grabbing his foot when he started to morph, with like his little three fingers. That's probably my favorite panel. That concrete one's a really good second. But the one with Tiara, I'm smiling like surprised. I'm completely unharmed. I also really like. And my favorite piece of dialogue was Zamzam talking about him still want his hotel customers to get the best sleep possible. I love that. I love the gimmick. Might be the one of Tiara on screen. Yeah, that's facts. I feel it. Only really cared about the Yuri and Tiara stuff. Fair enough. 7 out of 10. I've been lied to my whole life. Thanks, Naya. Oh man, that's tough. That being said, I think this is a 10 out of 10 too, but if barely, it's awesome. I think my favorite panel is Zamzam unleashing the dragonfly. That was really good too. And favorite quote was Tiara saying the power of words can achieve the impossible or something like that. Favorite panel is post headshot for me. Yeah. Yeah. You know, like all just as a side note, Hunter x Hunter fans are still crying about that video I made where I said Hunter x Hunter and Togashi overrated. They're still crying. I still get comments there like, You're a bitch, you're ugly, and you'll never amount to anything in life. And I'm like, over some manga, bro? You're triggered. You're tilted. I love their tears. The tears give me like a boost of strength. unlike anything in this world can. Like I can use the tears of Hunter x Hunter fans like sensu beans. They will just heal my body and soul and mind all at once when they're crying to me. God, I love it. God, they're such bitch ass niggas. Concrete, what did it for you? Favorite panel is the post headshot. 8 for 5, 8 for 5 9 for me. The part between Zamzam and Mate and Tiara fight wasn't moving me. Okay, fair enough. I was confused to who the spy was. Was it the captain or branch leader? I don't think that SIU wanted to make that clear yet. I think it's the guy that was introduced in this chapter, or it was the grandpa related to Laura and Lilial and stuff. Of course, you will still get comments. Yeah, good. Cry more. You ride in Tilted Towers. It's like me with NF when I say I don't like his music. Favorite line is if you're still alive after getting hit in the head, you're really yes. I'll feel it. I'll feel it. Zane, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. I think that's everything we need to say about the chapter. It won't be a Naya stray without a Hunter x Hunter and Tagashi stray. Yep. A Naya stream. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. You know, we catching them strays. But Yuri will be fine. I'm not worried about Yuri. I wonder if Endorser or Nak will come here. So it's your help with the stray. No problem. No problem. No problem. But you guys be safe. I will actually leave this up because I streamed a little bit early, so I'll leave this up until I go to bed. Patreon gang, you already know what it is. I don't want to be eating ice soup. And you guys are the answer for me not eating ice soup. Shout out to the certified BAM lovers. That's the CBLs. But shout out to the Priests of Fire. That's the certified Brillit lovers. Are they the real CBL? I don't know. They might be, but definitely got to give the hugest shout out to my tier 3 pledgers. The 5th Zen Gods. Shout out to Zyler Scotty, Zodiac Nemiko, Zachary Cooper, Urek Mazzino, Tino Brown, Ticos, Sonny Kathapali, Simi, Scobe, Revenant, Reese Dijon, Raft ZB, Maury, Lazy Dragon, Johnny Rogers, Irene Sharda, Triss, Childish Nujabes, Andrew, Allen, and Big Abdel. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you. I'm moving on from ice soup to ice sandwiches. We on the come up. Yeah.